1, 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Today it's 3 p.m. UK time. Time for a design review session today. That's what we're going to do. So, hope you're doing good. If you can let me know where you're watching from, that would be cool. I'm going to just start my slides here. 2 seconds. So, yeah, I think who we got here? We got Nomadic Blue was first in the comments. And I think Kathleen is here. Hello to you. Kathleen from NYC. Raymond is here from Baltimore. And Pond and Beyond logging in early. Grey Elephant Club says mask mandate finally lifted in Ohio on the 2nd of June. Cool. Still feels like it's a way away, but I guess it's not that far away, isn't it? Ray from a rainy Macclesfield. Just down the road. Is it rainy? I've got to cycle home, so I hope it's not too rainy. Hello to you, Ray. Just getting my slides up here. 2 seconds. Here we go, here we go. It's been a while since we did a design review session, so this will be interesting. Bo says hello from Ohio, also from Ohio. Sheila from Toronto is here. Swearworks from Sedona. Lance from Tallahassee, Florida, Callie from Jacksonville, Kev from Nottingham, Teddy from El Paso, Anna from Puerto Rico, Just Bella from North Carolina, Mike from Texas, Matthew from New York. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me today, guys. This is going to be a design review session. I'll just share my screen with you. A big hi from Algeria, says Chalky Graphics. Cool. So yeah, today we are going to do a review. We've got some designs that some of you have sent in. Thank you for that. I know I had my teleprompter thing set up last time with my iPad. Obviously I was using my iPad like a teleprompter. So in order to be able to do some scribbling on this session today, I've had to unplug it. So I can't look straight. I mean, I can look straight at the camera, but my screen is over here. So, which might be okay because I was watching, I think it was the last week's live stream. It looks a bit wooden, just staring straight into the camera all the time. So maybe this, I don't know, maybe this is a bit more natural with my eyes kind of shifting slightly to the left all the time. Anyway, TQ from Vegas is here too. Wonderful. So iPad is plugged in. We've got some reviews. We've got some designs to look through. So we'll get into that shortly. If you are watching, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the YouTube channel or something like that, it'd be great to have you as a subscriber. And also ask questions as we go. So we'll be talking about t-shirt design. We'll be looking at some designs. If you have questions about t-shirt design or anything else that you'd like to ask my opinion on, I'm here for about an hour, so we'll be going through that. You can ask anything. You can interrupt me, and I'll leave some time at the end for questions as well. Hitcham says, Michael Essek's Ultimate Starter Kit, 50% off. Is it available? Yes, Hitcham, it's available this week. If you've had an email about it, which is the only way you would know about it, then yes, expires on Saturday. So click the link in your email and you'll be able to see more about that. Jennifer says, hi guys from LA. Hello to you, Jennifer. So yes, as I was saying, ask questions as we go. And join my mailing list if you haven't already, michaelessek.com/live, which you can see up there, up in that corner. michaelessek.com/live. You can get my free ebook, 5 Ways to Improve Your Design Ideas. What else is there? There's a special pack about helping you find the right fonts for t-shirt designs, so ideal t-shirt fonts. There's the Ideas Files ebook. So there's like a load of goodies which are available just over the line once you're subscribed at michaelessek.com/live. All free, of course. And of course, you'll be getting free emails from me, tips and tricks every Tuesday, and usually a roundup email every Friday. So subscribe at michaelessek.com/live for free if you haven't already. Riyadh said, Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak to you too, Riyadh. And for all those celebrating. Rick, good morning from Tallahassee, Florida. Good morning to you, Rick. Hope it's nice there. So before we get into it, is this for you? If you're someone selling on Redbubble or Merch by Amazon or TeePublic, if you're a designer trying to make money from your artwork and trying to sell designs on platforms like this, organic search-based platforms, or you're doing stuff for maybe sites like T-Fury or Threadless, maybe more curated sites, or you're trying to, maybe license your art to stores like Hot Topic or Spencer's and places like that, then this is probably for you. So anyone who's doing organic print on demand, maybe you're selling on Etsy or Amazon, if you have your own Shopify store, if you have your own Instagram, you're trying to come up with content and new designs, funny ideas all the time, or you're trying to build an art licensing brand as well, that's my crowd. That's who I'm trying to help in these sessions. So if that's you, stick around. Zenobai. Hi, Zenobai here from South Africa. Hello to you, Zenobai. Hope I'm pronouncing Zenobia. That seems more like it. D says Austin in the house. Hello to you, D. So if you sent a design in, I think we'll probably cover almost all the designs that got sent in overnight. So if you don't know what this is, every couple of weeks or so, I would usually do a design review session, which is what we're doing today. So I send an email out to my email list the day before and say, if you have a design you'd like me to review, please send it in. And then I select designs from those replies, and then I review them in this session today. So if you're on my email list, you'll be able to receive that email and to get your designs reviewed. So if you didn't get that email, you need to subscribe, michaelessek.com/live, and then you'll be able to get a design reviewed in the next session maybe. So that's how it works. Schroeder from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. D says she's too afraid to send in a design. I don't think you should be, D. There's nothing to be afraid of, and I don't bite. But I will try and be as helpful as I can without being too harsh. I don't think I'm harsh. I think I'm probably overly nice most of the time. Okay, should we get into it today? I see no reason why not. I had a few principles just to kind of set the scene for us today. So first off, this is advice only. Don't take this as somehow definitive. I may not get some of these ideas and designs. You may be targeting a crowd that I have no knowledge of. It may be an in-joke that I'm not aware of. So this is just my opinion based on the designs that people have sent in. Don't take it as, oh my gosh, Michael didn't like it, therefore it's never going to sell. That's really not the case. And there's a lot of designs where I've been critical of or whatever, and they sell anyway. Art is, art is art, but there's the selling of art, which is part science and part art. There's the creative side, and then there's the more, what would you call it, tangible side of supply and demand and creating things for certain audiences and things like that. So yeah, this is advice only, and it's not and it's my opinion, not what necessarily will or won't work for you. There is no perfect design. There is no formula. There's no, tick this box for success. There is no such thing as, I've had an idea. If I do this, and this, it will definitely sell. This is all, we're in a creative kind of industry, in a creative space, and some things work and some things don't. And really, there's this volume thing behind everything. So there is no design that's going to, magically make you a millionaire overnight or anything like that. But there are principles. There are principles for success. There are principles we can apply. And that's kind of what I, cover in these sessions. So success, whatever that means for you, what it means for me, and I think for a lot of us, requires lots of good designs. So if you want to make a reliable income from your t-shirt designs, if you want to make, 6 figures a year or more, you're going to need to have a lot of good designs. You're going to need to have them on a lot of different platforms and channels, probably, or at least a few different platforms and channels, and they need to be good designs. So we're going to look at individual designs, but obviously no one of these individual designs is going to make you, tens of thousands of dollars, certainly not within a short space of time. So what we're trying to do is improve our hit rate so that we can come up with and generate better and better ideas so that we can build a solid business. But that doesn't ever, it's not like you'll ever come up with one idea and then you won't have to work again. We're always constantly trying to come up with new stuff. So just wanted to lay that out there, those principles. Sheila said, you are super nice with feedback, but also clear and focused. Thank you, Sheila. Dee says, the weather has been awesome lately. Cool. Oh, I think she's talking to Mike, who's her neighbor, which is cool. Stan from South Africa is here. Okay, let's get into it today then. So I've broken the designs down into 3 main groups. These are, number 1, designs which I didn't really have anything to latch onto. A second group of designs where it's a bit easier to see what you're trying to do, but you haven't really nailed it. And then a third group, which is designs which are almost there, and I can just give you a few tips and tricks to help you along the way. So let's dive into it right away. Oh, first off, I tell you what, we'll come back to that one. Let's take a look at some of these designs so we can get started here. So I'll just take a sip. And of course, if you want to ask questions or, whatever you want to contribute, the live chat box is there for you to do so. Okay, these designs that you can see on your screen, let me make these a bit bigger. These are designs which I don't feel I can offer much help on, besides to say that, I'm just not getting what's going on with most of them. So let's just take a quick look. This one here says we are all colored, and it's some colored faces in a kind of, looks like, the magnets that you get on the fridge or something like that. I'm just not, sure exactly what's going on, what the message is supposed to be, if there is a clear message. And I don't know why it's on a white background. I'm just really struggling. So a lot of these designs are like that. I'm just struggling to really understand what's going on. And I think if I can give advice, if your design is on this page, sorry, I don't know everyone's name or anything like that, but if you see your design here, the best advice I could give you is to revisit the 3 core principles. I think these are outlined in my free ebook, The 5 Ways to Improve Your Design Ideas Right Away. You can get that at michaelessek.com/live. But the 3 principles, the 3 questions are these. Who is going to wear this? Why would they want to wear it? And how are they going to find it? Who is going to wear it? Why would they want to wear it? That's a different question. And how are they going to find it? And I think for these designs that people have sent in, there's very little answers to those questions that are obvious to me. You might have some answers in your head. It's not clear to me what those answers would be. So who's going to wear this? I don't know. Why would they want to wear it? I think there's an attempt being made at some kind of message here, but I'm not really getting it. And how are they going to find it? Again, very, very difficult to answer that one. This one here, we got some monsters. Looks like someone's drawn some monsters, and that's all well and good. But again, this is not what I would call a design. This is just a kind of it looks to me like a random illustration. There is no concept here. There's no message. There's nothing tying it together. Another buzzword here might be hook. There's no hook. There's nothing to really grab it. Now, of course, you could say, oh, what do you mean, Michael? There's loads of, cute monster designs that are sold every day. If I go to the local Target or Walmart or whatever, I'll see lots of cute monsters and they sell on products. And that's absolutely true. But unless you have a direct line into Target or Walmart and stuff like that, then I don't see how you're really going to sell these designs through organic platforms. So if you're trying to sell on Etsy or you're trying to sell on TeePublic or Redbubble, then you're going to need to do more than just, illustrate some nice, cute monsters, cute as they may be. And personally, I think there's not a lot of, there's not a lot to get our teeth into here. So there's not a lot of advice I can give, except that what tends to sell on, T-shirts, on Redbubble, on TeePublic, on Merch by Amazon, are T-shirt designs, are coherent designs. Those are usually some form of message, some joke, some pun, something like that, and that is not this. So it's all about the algorithms again, and I'm not sure what the message is here, what's going on. I don't know who would want to wear it. And I don't know why they would really want to wear it. It's difficult for me to understand. Maybe it's an in-joke or something I'm not getting. And again, it doesn't really look like a T-shirt design to me. It looks more like a maybe a canvas print or something. But it's not clicking for me. It's not, certainly not obvious. And I think a lot of t-shirt designs, one of the biggest principles behind successful t-shirt design is simplicity and really nailing it, so that people get what you're trying to do. Here we've got an alien, looks like a pencil sketch. And by the way, I tend to review as though I'm, reviewing t-shirt designs, which is my area of expertise. Of course, print-on-demand sites and selling on Etsy and stuff, you don't have to sell t-shirts. You can sell, phone cases and canvas prints and all kinds of things. So, my criticisms may be a little bit, you're like, oh, well, I didn't really create it for a t-shirt, but I'm kind of reviewing it as though it was. So, so bear that in mind. Okay, this alien, he loves to fly Raptor. Again, just not getting it. I get that a Raptor is a plane of some kind, but I don't understand what the message is, if there's a joke there or what. It's just not clear at all. And then this one is a design, I think, related to mental health and those kind of things. But again, this is not at all clear who would want to wear it and why they would want to wear it. And design-wise, a lot of the times, if you can nail the who would want to wear the thing and why they might want to wear it, then the design should really be a case of just making something that looks attractive on the shirt and actually takes that message and presents it in an attractive way. And some of these designs do better than others on the kind of attractive front. But this one, I think, is kind of failing on all levels. It's difficult to understand who would want to wear it, why they'd want to wear it, how they're going to find it, and it's not aesthetically pleasing either. So yeah, if your design's on this page, hope that advice helped you. I didn't want to, sometimes I skip over designs like this. I just don't comment on them, or I just, feel I don't have anything to say, so I don't comment. But I thought this week, at least, I would show some of them, and at least maybe if these are your designs, you're getting some help. And I would just reiterate those key points. Who is going to wear it? Why would they want to wear it? How are they going to find it? If you can answer those questions, I believe you will produce better designs. And if you can take that advice on board, maybe for next time I do a design review or whatever, I think you'll be producing designs that are better than these that we see on the screen here. Okay, some comments that we have on those while I've been doing that. Okay. TQ says, lol, mine is in this group. No problem. Well, hopefully it has helped you anyway. D says, maybe it's for a kid. It may well be. Hi from Hong Kong, says Tifla Rose. Just Bella says, the monsters are cute. D says, the monster one needs to have funny text, like a pun. Yeah, it definitely needs something. On the other hand, like, I feel like I'm maybe overemphasizing one side, but like, of course, like I said, there are art licensing brands, and if you're doing art licensing, or you're trying to, for example, license your art to someone like Target or Walmart or something like that, then of course things like pattern design, things like just attractive illustrations without jokes, without puns or anything like that, that's a business model. That is absolutely something that people make a livelihood from and do very well at that. But that's not, it's not an easy thing to kind of get into in the same way that print on demand and Redbubble and stuff is. So yeah. Just Bella says, I agree, though they'd make cute stickers as is. Yeah, unfortunately, though, words like cute, and I think it's cute, and I think it's nice, we're all subjective, and what we really need to do is try and figure out, what. For example, let's say you've created this monster design. How are you going to title it? How are you going to keyword it? How are people going to find it? It's the biggest problem. It's there's lots of art in the world created by people that's very, very attractive, very cute, very nice, but they're not selling it, and that's really the missing piece of the puzzle. And that's what we're trying to do: is how can we figure out how to sell this stuff, or even better, how can we figure out markets that already exist and just create work for them, create designs for them, instead of creating stuff and then trying desperately to get people to pay attention to it. Okay, TQ says, that gives me what I need. Thank you. No problem. D has just basically said what I just said. Monsters can be stickers, but how can they be found? Who is the audience? Exactly. And D says, text is hard to read on the one with the lady. Yeah, it is difficult on that one. Just Bella, the last one with the lady is very hard to read. Barely managed to translate the bottom line. Yeah, and MD is here. Hello to you, MD. Okay, so these were our first batch of designs. Let's look at this batch here. So this is kind of a mixed bag of a few different things, but let me go through these and see what kind of advice I can offer. First off, we've got Space Sheep. So this is a cute illustration of a sheep with a space suit on. And yeah, I'm struggling a bit with this one, really, because I'm not seeing a clear joke or anything like that. There's not much of a hook. I suppose you could say that, you know, a sheep in space is a hook in itself, but I think there's not much going on to really commend this to people. So I think, you know, let's ask our questions. Who is going to wear this? Well, you could say, well, someone who likes sheep, you know, maybe it's a farmer, maybe it's a sheep farmer, or someone who just is into sheep. Maybe they would like this design. Well, okay, but maybe they would, but there's not like a clear joke there. There's not kind of a pun. There's nothing like that. So that's what would really, you know, make this a bit stronger. If you could do a pun, some kind of space sheepy pun or something, that would that would make it more appealing in the short term. Or you could even do something like, for example, there was probably still is, this kind of trend of like animals dressed up in spacesuits or something like that in a kind of realistic style. So like a portrait style, you know, like a classic portrait or sketch or something. But yeah, I think just writing space sheep is like down here at the lowest kind of level of, you know, where you might go with this design. And I think if you can find a pun or something, then you could turn that into something that might be a bit more engaging. So D says sheep one would be funny if you said sheep space, like play on deep space, sheep space. Maybe, yeah. You're thinking in the right direction. I'm not sure that's the strong sheep space. Maybe, yeah, sheep space 9. I don't know, something like that. Scott is here. Tifla Rose, the grammar in the bye-bye teach one throws it off. Yeah, we'll get to that one. Thank you, Tifla. Tiago says, I think that is a pun with spaceship. Oh, you think it's a pun already? Space sheep. Wow, I did not get that. Thank you, Tiago. I think you might be right. That does make a bit more sense, space sheep. But it obviously didn't make sense because it wasn't obvious to me like that, space sheep. Okay, in that sense, if that is the pun, I think we need to. I don't think it's that strong. I think is perhaps the problem. Yeah, spaceship. It's probably just not strong enough, and that's why I didn't get it. That's my excuse anyway. But yeah, that's my advice on that one. Okay, don't follow the herd. This one here, we've got a cow in a kind of reminiscent of Gary Larson style, I thought, with this one. So don't follow the herd, and a kind of punk rock, I don't know, alternative lifestyle cow here with pierced nose ring and orange hair and stuff. So I think, you know, this kind of design, you know, could work. That kind of thing of sending a message like that, you know, don't follow the herd. That's a thing, you know, that's good. I think probably more on the design side is where I'd have some concerns. I don't think this kind of layout works great for a t-shirt. Like, you're not making the best use of the canvas, and I would, you know, move the illustration probably above the text. I'd probably, you know, follow my typical circular layout with a phrase like that. Don't follow across the top, the herd at the bottom, with your cow in the middle. And as far as the illustration goes, I think it's a little bit difficult, you know, at first glance to immediately get it. I think the style of illustration doesn't necessarily lend itself to, getting hold of the message of the design. So I understand that obviously we have different styles of illustration and stuff, but I think that concept of, don't follow the herd and maybe doing like a punk rocky cow or something might be better served in a different illustration style, maybe even more of a like realistic style or something like that. But yeah, I think with even just with a few basic layout changes, that could be made to be a stronger looking design. So yeah, okay. Bye bye teach, hello beach. So Tifler said the grammar in the bye bye teach one throws it off a little. Yes, I did. I agree with that. Yeah, bye bye teach doesn't really make sense. And Scott has jumped on what I was going to say, actually. Yeah, I think I had the same idea. Bye bye teaching, hello beaching, I think works better. Now, of course, that's not grammatically correct, but it's grammatically incorrect in a funny way that makes sense and still kind of rolls off the tongue and stuff. So yeah, that on the text side, that's definitely an improvement I would go with. Or you could brainstorm some others as well, like teacher versus beacher, or yeah, I don't know. But I think if you spend a bit more time on that, you could probably brainstorm some others. But yeah, teaching and beaching, I think, is a stronger concept. In terms of design, I think obviously we've got the kind of, what would you call that, retro sunset thing going on, but it's not really carried through to the rest of the design. And I think even with a few, just font choices that work a bit better, that are more vintage beach surf style t-shirt design, a couple of palm trees in the background, and a font choice which is more that kind of vibe, then I think it could be completed and be a much more coherent design if you did a few things like that. So yeah, hope that helps with that one. Happy 4th, America, and I guess this is it a firework? I'm kind of put off by the illustration and what's going on. It could be a cupcake. Is it a firework in a cupcake, or is that what fireworks look like in America? I don't know, but I think we have some issues here, definitely first on the concept side. A happy 4th of July design, obviously that's a very popular holiday to design t-shirts for, and lots of people are doing stuff like that. And I think there's not a lot in this concept, writing out Happy 4th America. Unless I'm missing something, please let me know in the comments if I am. Unless I'm missing something, this is it's a very generic message. It's like writing Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas or Happy Father's Day on a t-shirt. Like that's the message of the text, right? So there's not a lot to commend that. Why would I want to buy this t-shirt as opposed to a pun on George Washington or something like that, or drinking like Lincoln, or all those kind of puns that are going around at this time, or things like what do they call it, like the original Brexit or whatever, things like that, plays on Independence Day. So yeah, concept wise, I think that message is way too generic to really make much of a dent, and I think you should row a few steps back and think, okay, if I'm going to a 4th of July party, what kind of design would I want to wear? I'm probably going to want to wear something funny and witty and clever. So try and come up with some puns and jokes and things, and work from that basis rather than just a simple generic message. And then design wise, yeah, there's just, like Dee says here, there's a lot going on. There's fireworks of various different colors. There's the illustration, which is a bit nondescript in a way, and the colors are kind of messed up. And for example, this red isn't matching with the red of the candle, so we've got just kind of washed out red colors and stuff. So too many colors. I would say there's too much going on in terms of the graphics. And I would say the text is very generic, both in the message, but also in the font and everything like that. So hope that helps. Okay. It's hard podcasting about comedy. Everybody laughs at you. So again, if we can kind of separate concept from design on this one, concept-wise, I think it's difficult to do. This is still kind of a generic-y kind of message, like podcasting about comedy. That sounds to me like it would be a very small market to go after. But let's say that it is a small market, but we know how to reach them or something. So comedy podcasters. I don't know if that's people who are doing a comedy podcast or people who are doing a podcast about comedy. That seems like it would be a much more niche group of people. But anyway, it's hard podcasting about comedy. Everybody laughs at you. So we've kind of got a typical kind of setup and punchline joke. And design-wise, it's obviously kind of simple. I don't typically would stay away from doing this kind of font. I would probably go for something that's more of a sans serif font to keep it simple and make it easier to understand. But I think what's really putting me off it is the kind of setup. It's hard podcasting about comedy. Just because I think that's a difficult. It would be easier, it'd be easier to get if it was something like it's hard being a comedian, or it's hard writing comedy or something like that. That would kind of make more sense. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it from a concept point of view. So Scott and Lance are here to help me out. Lance says, on podcasting, make message shorter. Maybe comedy is hard. Everybody laughs at you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, I think. Just like the difficulty of being quite so specific with your text. It's hard podcasting about comedy. But again, that could just be me saying I'm overthinking it. And there are people podcasting about comedy. And maybe it would work for them. Maybe it would appeal to them. And I think, yeah, in that case, when we're dealing with perhaps very niche markets, like super niche, small markets like that, the opinion of someone like me doesn't really matter that much. I can certainly help on the design side, but concept-wise, it's going to be a lot easier to just get it out there in front of those people and get reactions to it. So yeah. This Area 51 one, again, there's not a lot to get your teeth into here. This is just Area 51 text with a spaceship and a alien face. There's no joke, there's no pun, there's no message, there's nothing like that. So again, I'm just kind of struggling with why someone would want to wear it. If you're trying to do an Area 51 design, you could do things like greetings from Area 51, or I went to Area 51 and XYZ, or approaches like that. So yeah, I think there's just not a lot again to get my teeth into on that one. Kathleen says, in podcasting, no one can hear you laugh. That's a good point. That could work. So yeah, I think on the podcasting one, it's obviously just we need lots of concepts anyway, so just keep going at it with lots of concepts and approaches. Okay. Here's our last selection of designs. So I'll take a sip and we will get into these ones. So first off, we got alpaca meal prep, as in an alpaca and some meal prep. So my first thought with this one was, does it need the busy at the top? It's quite easy to get the concept of the joke here. Obviously, it's an alpaca pun. Alpaca, as in I alpaca a. So yeah, I just wondered whether the busy was necessary, whether you could just go for alpaca meal prep, and see how it, see how that pans out, and you would perhaps be able to lose a bit of text, give you a bit more freedom in the design and the approach and stuff like that. Design-wise, I like it, the simplicity of it. I like the use of the background of the shirt. Not having a color for the alpaca and stuff makes it look quite natural and organic and good. I would say you could even bring a bit more balance to the illustration by moving the hoof a little bit further in. And if you kind of bring that in so it's kind of right under the alpaca or just slightly off to the side, you could make it so that his ears, you can make his ears a bit bigger maybe, or her ears. Make the ears a bit bigger, and then let me kind of show you what I'm thinking. Let me pull my iPad out. 2 seconds. So let me share my screen. So yeah, your alpaca is like this. Just draw him out quick. And you have got his hoof and the meal prep over here like this. And what that means is, if you're looking at this from a balance approach, like where it's going to be on the canvas, you've got kind of dead space here, because this needs to be here on this side, and otherwise you could do it the other way where you keep so that was keeping your alpaca in the middle, and then you could do it that way, and then you kind of you're left with the dead space up there. So to solve this problem, what I would recommend is take your alpaca's hoof, paw, and move it just kind of like here, about there, and then make his ears a bit bigger, because you could get away with that because they have big ears anyway. And then what you've effectively done is you've balanced the illustration out, right? So this can be in the center of the shirt, and it's going to look much more kind of cohesive because of that. So then when you come to put your text around it, alpaca meal prep. We've got a nice cohesive design. It's not out of balance. We don't have a load of dead space on one side that isn't there on the other side, and I think that would tie it together a little bit better. But yeah, solid design, solid idea, and I think that works very nicely. Okay, some comments here. So Tifla Rose, the alpaca design seems a little off balance. Yes. Well spotted. Callie, less words, alpaca on top, shorter neck. I agree with Tifla Rose, maybe balance is a bit off. Yeah, so it seems we're all around the same thing here. Maybe alpaca lunch is more common than meal prep. Yeah, I think it is, but my interpretation of this was that we're doing, alpaca bag, alpaca meal, alpaca whatever, alpaca lunch, are all kind of already done, and this is more of a meal prep specifically to fitness people or something like that. So that's the interpretation I had on it. Callie says, thanks, Michael. Scott says, reminds me of 7 Minutes in Purgatory. Okay, talking about the podcasting one. Callie, Swearworks, this design is specifically for women who weightlift or who lift. So yeah, I was on the right track there. Okay, no problem, Callie. Thank you for sending it in. And let's move on to this one. So I'll live you a lot. This is very nice. Solid pun, which works and makes sense. I think perhaps obviously this doesn't look like a t-shirt design to me. I mean, if we compare this design here to this one right here, you can see which one looks like it's been designed for a t-shirt, and one which looks like it's perhaps just been created on the computer or created digitally without much thought for where it's going to end up. Whoops. So again, that's not necessarily a problem unless if you're trying to sell t-shirts, that is a problem. But this might work as a phone case or something like that, a greetings card or something, and you have more flexibility there. You can use unlimited colors on a greetings card or on a phone case in a way that you can't really do with a t-shirt and still make it look nice. So concept-wise, solid. Illustration style and layout and colors and stuff doesn't work great for t-shirt design. Could work as a greetings card. If I'm going to be really critical, I would say, the style of the illustration is pretty generic. There's not a lot of personality coming in. There's not a lot of custom approach there. I'm not seeing much of a unique style which would make it jump out at me, from the greetings card rack or something like that. So yeah, that would be my critique if I had to make one. But it's still a nice concept, and you could obviously illustrate that joke, that pun, in many different ways and many different styles. So yeah, hope that helps. And then we've got this series of 3 designs. I'm afraid I'm not sure who from, or 3 illustrations, and these are all similarly. These are all pun designs, aren't they? Of course, but again, 3 very a blind date, very nice. Veggie burger with a meat is murder sign, and a Hawaiian pizza. So don't really have too many thoughts on the blind date and the veggie burger. I think they're very simple concepts and they work. I'm not sure whether this is kind of your approach to the finished design, but I would recommend losing this logo thing. If you really want to do that, if you really want to get your logo or some kind of copyright notice on the illustration, then I would make it much smaller and hidden away. But again, I'm not sure whether this is kind of your finished design, as it were, for a t-shirt. I would recommend, if you look at someone like Gemma Corral or Sophie Corrigan. I think Sophie Corrigan is she's the illustrator behind Hedgehogs, and she does a lot of designs like this, or puns, puns with this approach. So if we just look her up, Sophie Corrigan. And you'll see, in terms of layout, there's a very, pretty clear pattern that she follows. The text just sits underneath the illustration, and the illustration on top. And it's, obviously very simple. In this example, the text is above rather than beneath. Instaham, Beagle Bagel, Slothy. So yeah, I think this is a good, Sophie Corrigan, Gemma Corral, very good examples of how you can basically build a very successful art licensing practice or business just from simple puns like that. Illustrated, obviously, in a unique style. And yours are in a consistent style, so that's good too. But in terms of the actual design on a product, this is typically, you don't have a lot of options, because of course, if your pun is like a word or 2 words, you don't have a million ways you can do that. And especially when you want the illustration to do most of the talking or the communicating of the idea or the design. So you have to keep it pretty simple. There's not a lot of options. You have the text above, or you have the text beneath, or you have the text on the illustration somehow, but you don't have, a million different options. So I would recommend, with designs like this, you need to make it obvious that that's the joke. So you need to make sure the text is big enough to be read alongside the illustration. And I think that here we've got the text a little bit small and a little bit hidden, and it's not, immediately obvious. So I would follow the Sophie Corrigan model or something similar. What's that one? Oh, mud skipping. Follow that kind of model, with those kind of designs. I think that's just the safest way to do it. On the Hawaiian pizza one, that one jumped out to me. I just thought that could perhaps be nicely done as it is. Because of the Hawaii connection there, you could push it a little bit further. So you could you could have a background with some palm trees. You could have a beach setting. You could even, with that one, kind of illustrate what I've got in my head. You could go for something like your pizza guy here with his shades on, as you got him, with his coconut drink or whatever he's drinking. Then you could have, some palm trees. It's probably a bit too far out. Palm trees in the background, kind of beachy, maybe with some Hawaiian mountains or hills in the background as well. And just kind of maybe sunset behind him, kind of vintage sunset vibe. And you could, how do you spell Hawaii? Hawaiian pizza. So, you could make more of a bigger design, if you see what I mean, rather than the simple, pun, illustration, plain background, no real depth or anything to it. That particular design, the Hawaiian pizza one, I think could be fattened out. You could even give him a surfboard or something. I don't know. It could be. Sorry, I drew a surfboard and then didn't show it. Here's my surfboard. There it is. So we could have a surfboard. It could even be surfing or something like that. There's a lot of ways you could take it, but I think you can do it in a few more ways than you might do, like a blind date, which really, it's not, the joke is not going to be enhanced by doing a blind date in a particular setting or anything like that, whereas the Hawaiian pizza one would do so. Hope that makes sense. Lance says, love the pizza, Adelaide. What does that mean? Add a L-E-I? Sorry, Lance, I'm missing something there. Can you explain what you mean there? Thank you. So yeah, I think these are, design-wise and illustration-wise, they're nice. And I think you could just, you could run with these as they are. I think if I'm, again, being super critical, I would wonder whether they're a little bit too kind of samey. Like there's a lot of this kind of kawaii illustration style out there. So you could, you might just kind of get lost in the mix for stuff like that. It's a possibility. So you might want to consider whether there's an illustration style that's a little bit, different, that pushes it a bit more, that's going to stand out from the crowd, because it's relatively straightforward for people to do, this kind of cute, kawaii, simple illustration style. I'm not saying that's bad or anything like that. I'm just wondering whether, if it was me and I've wrestled with the same problem, how do I illustrate this in a way that's simple and that gets the joke across, but that also gives me a little bit of differentiation in the market and separates me from the competition and that kind of thing. So yeah, but still, I like them. I think they could work. So I hope that helps. Okay, lei, is that how you say it? Lei is a flower necklace. Thank you. You learn something new every day. Yes, he does have a flower necklace on in this version. You can't really see it. Doesn't stand out that well. So yeah, that could be something else to look at. Grey Elephant Club says, wow, I love the tips. Little adjustments here and there keeps me thinking. Yeah, that's what it's all about, the little details, right? Thank you, Lance, for pointing that out. Flower necklace. It's called a lei or a lie. Someone needs to write me the pronunciation now. Yeah, it does blend in with the toppings, so that could be made to stand out a little bit more. Okay, cool. So those are our designs, and that's it. We're done. We got through them all. So any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and pop them in the chat. Maybe do another 5 minutes or something before we wrap it up, assuming there are questions that come in. I think we have one here already from Aaron. Which best site to get t-shirt designs? Not sure whether I'm understanding the question, Aaron. Are you asking a site to get t-shirt designs from, in which case I'm not really the man to ask that, as I am a t-shirt designer, a producer of designs. Are you asking which is the best place to sell or to license or to upload your finished designs? Then I do have a very detailed blog post on that topic at michaelessek.com. If you scroll down to the best print-on-demand sites, that is a big list and a detailed deep dive into the best print-on-demand sites out there. So I can give you the short rundown of it. It's Merch by Amazon, Redbubble, TeePublic, Threadless, Society6, Displate, and Fine Art America. And if you want to check that out, I'll pop it in the comments. It's michaelessek.com/print-on-demand sites. Okay, pronounce lei. Thank you, everybody. Lei. So a lei is the flower necklace from Hawaii. Got it. And yeah, while I'm here, if you do want this free ebook, 5 Ways to Improve Your T-Shirt Designs, and Fonts for T-Shirt Resources Pack, the Idea Files ebook, all these are completely free. You'll also get access to the print-on-demand site data spreadsheet at michaelessek.com/live. Just sign up there and you'll be kicked to a page where you get access to all these things right away. And of course, you'll be on my email list, so you'll get notified when we do a design review or when I have something else to share, advice, tips and tricks and stuff like that. Okay, Aaron says, okay, thanks. And Scott says, traditionally made of frangipani flowers. Okay, we're learning a lot today. All right, any other questions? We'll give it another few minutes here. So if you've got a question you want to ask me, anything about t-shirt design, print-on-demand sites, coming up with ideas, we've got a few minutes here before we wrap it up. Koroy, Grey Elephant Club says, good stuff as usual. Thanks, Michael. No problem. Koroy, how do you manage VAT selling on Redbubble? They sell to every country. Yeah, I don't personally. The best answer I can give is you should consult a accountant in your region, because the rules are different, very different, depending not only on what country you're in, but what state you're in and how these things are declared and stuff. My accountant has advised me in my particular situation that we are okay and that we don't need to do anything with regards to VAT currently. But of course, that depends on you and where you are and what your situation is. So, yeah, I know that's not helpful really, but that's the best advice I can give, because I can't really speak to anyone's situation. You know, for example, VAT in the UK, once you reach a certain threshold, then you have to start accounting for VAT and paying it back and stuff like that. I'm not at that stage yet with vatable products, so yeah, I think you need to consult with someone, an accountant who can help you on that front with your specific circumstances. Frangipani. Stan says, thanks, Michael, no problem. Nomadic Blue says, are TeePublic and Threadless two different POD sites, or are they very similar? They're very different. TeePublic is a open marketplace where anyone could upload stuff. Although actually recently they are more of a not curated, but they don't allow just anything to appear on their marketplace. So you can upload anything, but they might hide it from searches. So it might still be found by Google and stuff like that, still be indexed, but it won't necessarily show up in their search results. So for example, you could upload a cat design and I could come over here and search on TeePublic for cat, and I wouldn't see your design because they have not added it to the TeePublic marketplace. So there are ways to go about that if you want to get your design. If you're already selling on TeePublic, then this is redundant. But if you're brand new to TeePublic, then it's a very good idea to do things like get your banner done, do a thumbnail, link your social media, link to TeePublic from your Instagram accounts and stuff, and just basically say to TeePublic, I'm legit. I'm a real seller, and I think they will then, or I've certainly heard of some people going through that process and getting their work added to the marketplace. So that's TeePublic, and then once your work is up there, it's up there, anyone can buy it. They have set royalty figures. I think it's $4 for a T-shirt, and then $2 at when they do sales, and you don't have any control over that. So it's a set royalty rate on TeePublic. Threadless is a different beast altogether. Threadless is much more of a curated site in the main, which is to say that the designs you see on Threadless, if you go to men's T-shirts or whatever, the designs you see here are all going to be curated. They're going to be picked. So not anyone can get their designs here on this part of Threadless. However, they do have a kind of open marketplace as well, but you just have to dig into it, so it's not that obvious. So anyone can sell, anyone can set up a Threadless store, but not every design is going to be selected and kind of promoted or featured on their homepage and stuff like that. So yeah, there are two different sites with two different kind of models. Well, certainly some differences there anyway. Teddy says, any tips on creating your listing description? I did do a full session on that, maybe this time last year or something, about going through kind of a listing and stuff like that. So rather than try and rehash that quickly here, I would just recommend going and digging that up. I think it's called, let me see if I can find it here. Writing titles, maybe. Oh, keywords. Maybe it's keywords. I think it's probably the keywords one. So if you go on my channel and you do a search for keywords, that's probably the best advice I can give on writing out a listing description. But the shorthand would be keep it relevant. Don't include lots of irrelevant stuff. Don't try to, do anything super fancy. Just keep it on point, keep it relevant to the design, and include a few terms which are, super specific, and then a few more broad ones. But yeah, don't throw in ridiculously unrelated stuff, because that can confuse things. So hope that helps. But yeah, it's not a dark art. It's simply a case of using relevant keywords and stuff for your designs. Sheila says she's just set up on Redbubble and nothing has arisen there about VAT, unlike Shopify. Swearworks, any thoughts about Merch by Amazon recently changing to allow tons of products per design? My thoughts are that it should be good in general for people, whether you're a lower tier seller. Certainly good if you're a lower tier seller, and really good if you're any kind of seller, because it makes it easier to produce more products from one design, or at least you have more space, you have more more slots available to you. However, from my point of view, space on Merch by Amazon is not the problem. I do not have I think I'm less than 1% of my slots are now filled. So there's there's an immense amount of things like slots to fill if I wanted to, but there is not the what's the word? Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day to fill that amount of space. So yeah, I think what maybe is more interesting is what does that say about Amazon? Are they looking for more designs? Are they seeing drops in uploads? Are they trying to encourage people to upload more because they're not seeing the growth that they once were in the uploads or something like that? Or maybe it's that people are uploading, but what they're uploading just isn't very good. So yeah, but I don't really know. Yeah, I think it should be a good thing overall, but is it going to make a big difference to me? No. Or to any kind of bigger seller on Merch by Amazon? No, I don't think so. I think it's probably just a bit more helpful to you if you're a lower tier seller on Amazon. Kev, thanks so much for the feedback on my design. Definitely going to put those into practice and making it all the better. Cool. Thank you, Kev. Scott, you mentioned about working with places like Hot Topic, Walmart, Target. Is there info on steps to take in creating those type of connections? Not that I have immediately to hand, Scott, but it is something I'm working on in the background. Maybe do some kind of product or some kind of mini course or something on that if people are interested in it. I know we get a lot of questions on it. I can just say for me personally, those connections have come about mainly since I attended a trade show, an art licensing trade show, and exhibited my stuff. And from that, I made connections, and that's kind of how I got in. So yeah, if you're interested in doing trade shows, there's a licensing show that happens in Vegas every year. I think it's actually just going to be virtual this year, but they usually do that in Vegas and then London every year. And there's a few other, art licensing trade shows like that. And that's how I've found my way in. There probably are other ways in, but that's how I've got into it myself. Lance, Etsy question. Since you can offer a lot of different products for designs that work equally well on t-shirts or mugs, does it make sense to just show the design and offer the customer options to have it printed on any product? I struggle to matching a design with the right product. Yeah, I don't think so, Lance. I think that wouldn't be my preference. I think in my experience, people are looking for a particular product on Etsy rather than, it's not like Redbubble where people are looking for a design and then, picking from products. I'm sure that could work on Etsy. I just think typically people are looking for a product. I'm looking for a something t-shirt. I'm looking for a something mug and stuff like that. So I think it really helps to know your market and to know what that design is going to work best for and just kind of pursue that. So yeah, obviously you can offer a lot of different products, hundreds or maybe even thousands of different types of products, but I would like to keep it to the things I knew. I'm not going to offer my design on a key ring, even though I can, or on a dog's bandana or all the crazy stuff we can offer it on, unless I have a particular reason. I think that design would be something people might be looking for on a product like that. So yeah. Teddy, any thoughts on balancing time management between design, creating listings, updating websites, social media? It's also overwhelming. Yeah, Teddy, it's a really hard one to give advice on because everyone's so different and where you're at. If you're just starting out versus if you've already got residual income coming in and stuff like that. I would say that you always need to be producing stuff if you want to grow your income, and I would say social media is a even though it's not something that delivers in the short term, over the long term it can be very you'd be very thankful looking back in 3 years' time if you'd posted to social media every day for that, or to Instagram or whatever over those 3 years. So yeah, all that to say, it's hard to really give, I don't think there's something where I can say, oh, you need to spend this amount of time on that and then this amount of time on that. I think it just depends on where you're at. One thing I will be opening up again soon is private consultation. So if you are interested in having a one-on-one with me, usually I do like an hour session where I do some research on you. You'd send me information about you and your business, and I'll come back with a more of a personalized plan with some recommendations and stuff. So I will be opening that up again soon. So if you're interested in a private consultation, drop me an email and I'll put you on the list there for when that opens up again. Aaron, why Redbubble site banned the account and how to recover it? Don't know, Aaron. You'd need to talk to Redbubble. I'm not Redbubble. Teddy, thank you. I'll look it up. No problem. Lance, a good way to find keywords is to look for related Instagram hashtags people use for your topic. That's good advice. Sheila, in addition to tags, are there other places on Redbubble where we should add keywords? Apart from store description and bio, well, obviously the title of the product is probably the most important place to have your keyword in, and in the description of your design as well, and then in the tags. So yeah, those 3 places, and I would repeat them in all those places, especially the key keyword, whatever that might be. So if your design is Hawaiian pizza, then you would put Hawaiian pizza pun in your title, in your description, in your tags. So you want to make sure you repeat it. So yeah. Ron says, I thought your email this week was spot on regarding not obsessing over keywords, but to focus on a design that will appeal to buyers. Thank you, Ron. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I do think people tend to think that keywords are some magic thing, and if they sprinkle the right ones, they'll make sales. But really, keywords are just something that helps you get seen. Obviously, that's very important. But if your design is not strong and your concept isn't good, and if you don't understand your customer, then keywords are not going to help you. So yeah. Kathleen says, I think merch is testing to see what sells so it can then sell it itself. Ooh, conspiracy theories maybe. But who knows? I don't know. Yeah, we don't know what Amazon's thinking. Stan, merch by Amazon simply declined my application without explanation. Yeah, sorry about that, Stan. Sorry to hear that, but I can't give you any explanation for it. I'm not merch by Amazon. Corey, do you need a tax ID for merch by Amazon application first, or can you get one later? I can't remember. I think, I don't know. Go and try and apply and see if you need a tax ID. I can't. It's been like 5 years since I signed up for merch by Amazon. Sheila said, one-on-ones are fantastic, very worthwhile. Thank you, Sheila. Roy Lichtenstein said he spent 80% of the time on marketing and relationships. I think that's certainly spending more time on, thinking about your customer and how you're going to get in front of them is a great idea versus just churning out your own stuff and your own designs. The problem is, if you do that, you get so internal. You're just thinking about, this is my idea. I'm just going to design it how I want to design it. And I've had this idea. Now we're going to do that. Instead of what do people want? What are they buying? How can I get it to them? How can I sell it to them? Which is probably the lion's share of, the business when it all boils down. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of people who can design well. There's a lot of people who are very good at making things look attractive. There's a lot of very good illustrators. There's not that many people who are good at going out and getting something in front of people and selling it successfully. So yeah, definitely worth spending time on that. Amsterling said, unlikely Redbubble will ever tell you why you were suspended. Yeah, I think unfortunately that is the case. Redbubble, Amazon, Etsy, these are mega corporations. Well, certainly Amazon and Etsy. Redbubble is still a massive, company. So you're unlikely, unfortunately, to get personal responses from them. You can try, but yeah, it's just not. Think about the amount of copyright infringement and people trying to cheat on Redbubble or whatever, or Amazon every single day. They simply can't, reply to everyone and explain why they blocked your account for whatever reason. So it's not fun, but there are other ways to sell stuff. There's Shopify, there's other websites, there's other things. So if you get blocked from one channel, that doesn't mean you can't sell through another one. So yeah. Okay. I think we will wrap it up shortly. We've gone over by 8 minutes. I thought we'd come under, but your questions have flooded in. Scott says, I agree about the email tip. Thank you. Red Banana Green said they said you can't describe texture that may be deceptive or confusing like leather. Does it mean you can't use that word at all, like as faux leather pattern or leather photo? Yeah, I think if it was me, I would stay away from anything that implies leather in that sense. If it was a pun with the word leather, you might be okay with that. But I would certainly stay away from anything that's like, faux leather pattern. That's kind of the same problem. That's kind of what they're trying to avoid. People will search for leather, see something that says leather, even if it's faux leather, and then buy it and then complain to Amazon that, it wasn't, or whatever it was. So yeah. Hope that helps. Kenneth, do Redbubble need tax number to pay out? I don't know. I think there's limits on, they can pay out a certain amount before they need a tax ID or something. But again, it's been so long that I've been signed up with Redbubble that I wouldn't know exactly what the process is now. So, Stan says no. So there you go. Thank you, Stan, for chipping in there. So we have an answer. Okay. All right. I think we will wrap it up there. So unless there's any last minute questions which are coming in as I speak, beep, 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 beep. bung. We'll cut it off there. And yeah, I'll talk to you next week. Do make sure you're subscribed at michaelessek.com/live, which is where I send out emails, tips, tricks, and obviously you can get access to the 5 Ways to Improve Your Ideas ebook, fonts for t-shirts, resources pack, idea files ebook, all kinds of other good stuff at michaelessek.com/live. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you got something out of it. Hope I helped you with your design if you sent it in. And if you didn't, still hope you obviously got something out of it. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for contributing. And I will talk to you next week, if not before. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Have a great rest of your Thursday. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.